Copper is a chemical element known to humans since ancient times. Some sources indicate that copper was well known to the Egyptians as early as 4000 BC. Mankind discovered it earlier than they found iron. This is explained on the one hand due to the fact that copper is available in a free access on the surface of the Earth, and on the other hand due to the comparative ease of its production from compounds. Copper as a material for making jewelry, sculptures and tableware has been used by man for a very long time. The ease of processing due to its softness allows craftsmen achieving a variety of textures as well as working on minor details and designing thin objects. Copper products are peculiar due to having golden or reddish tones, meanwhile the surface acquires shiny finish when polished. It is often gilded, tinted and decorated with enamel. Since the 15th century, copper has also been used in the manufacturing of printing plates. The total concentration of copper in the Earth's crust is relatively small. However, it is more commonly found than other metals in the native state, with copper nuggets reaching a significant size. This, as well as the comparative ease of processing, explains why it was used by humans earlier than other metals. How is copper mined and produced? We will find out in this episode of our program. Currently, copper is extracted from ores. The latter, depending on the nature of their constituent compounds, are divided into oxide and sulfide ones. Sulfide ores are of greater importance since 80% of all mined copper is smelted from them. Copper is widely used in manufacturing because of high thermal conductivity, high electrical conductivity, malleability, good casting qualities, high tear resistance, and chemical resistance. About 40% of copper is used in the manufacturing of various electrical wires and cables. Various alloys of this metal with other substances have found wide application in the machine building industry and electrical engineering. The most important are brass, an alloy of copper and zinc, copper-nickel alloys, and bronze. All copper alloys are highly resistant to atmospheric corrosion. It bears noting that copper is an essential micronutrient for plants and animals. In optimal concentrations, it increases the plant's cold resistance as well as promotes their growth and development. Among the animals, some invertebrates, including mollusks and crustaceans, are the richest in copper. The copper content in humans ranges from 5 mg in the liver to 0.7 mg in the bones. In total, an adult's body may contain about 100 mg of it. Copper is part of a number of enzymes stimulating the bone marrow's hematopoietic function. In healthcare, copper sulfate is used as an antiseptic and astringent in the form of eye drops for conjunctivitis and eye pencils for the treatment of trachoma. A copper sulfate solution is also used when treating skin burned by phosphorus. Another useful quality of copper is its high thermal conductivity. This allows using it in various heat removal devices and heat exchangers, including the well-known radiators for cooling, air conditioning and heating, as well as computer coolers and heat pipes. Due to the high mechanical strength and suitability for machine processing, seamless copper pipes of circular cross-section have been widely used for the transportation of liquids and gases. In internal water supply systems, heating, gas supply, air conditioning systems, and refrigeration units. In a number of countries, copper pipes are the main material used for these purposes. In France, the UK, and Australia, they are used for gas supply of buildings. In the UK, USA, Sweden and Hong Kong for water supply, while in the UK and Sweden for heating. This beautiful metal is used even in cooking. High heat conductivity reduces cooking time, plus food does not burn and is well cooked. The disinfecting properties of this metal prevent fungi and bacteria from penetrating into food. The head of a local plant located in the East Kazakhstan region will talk about the copper production process. Our copper plant is the newest plant at the Öskimen Metallurgical Complex. This plant was launched in 2011. In the design of this plant, the most advanced technologies that exist today were used. If I start from the very beginning, the initial step is the preparation of raw materials. Here we apply some of the most advanced technologies that prepare the material. The raw material consists of sulfide copper concentrates. We process copper concentrates using the isosmelt process, which is an advanced technology. It is an Australian development. Our raw materials are processed in isosmelt furnaces. These furnaces are based on an advanced Australian technology, which is one of the latest developments. Isosmelt is an upright furnace with a vertical lance installed. The raw material is smelted by controlling the lens. Our plant consists of three main workshops, such as a feed preparation shop, a smelting shop, and a copper electrolysis shop. As for the feed preparation shop, this unit is designed for the acceptance and subsequent preparation of raw materials for processing. The average capacity of unloading and preparation of raw materials is between 360 and 370,000 tons per year. This quantity of raw materials goes through the feed preparation shop. The raw material is prepared by mixing of several types of concentrates. We use both locally produced and imported raw materials. After preparation, the materials are fed directly into the furnace where the smelting process takes place. Further, the resulting melt undergoes the settling process. Settling takes place in an electric furnace where a basic process of phase separation occurs. The slag is separated and floats up while copper in the form of matte settles in the furnace, and later, after phase separation, we remove the slag for subsequent processing. Our production is unique due to the fact that there are no wastes. That is, we don't throw anything away. We process all the industrial products that result from smelting. That is, we use them. And thus we extract 100% of all the components that are available in the raw material. After the phase separation process, we deliver the slag for processing, and afterwards it comes out in the form of slag concentrates. Meanwhile, we process the resulting matte using the conversion process as we produce rough copper. Then, the rough copper undergoes cleaning and fire refining. As a result, we produce anodic copper. We pour it in special molds using a special anodizing machine. Then we deliver the resulting anodic copper to the copper electrolysis shop, where the electro-refining process takes place. Electro-refining is based on electrochemical processes whereby anodes are loaded into electrolysis bath as copper is dissolved in a slightly sulfuric acid solution. By supplying electricity, the dissolved copper is further formed on the cathode plate as cathode copper. That is, we produce our main product, which is cathode copper, with the production of byproducts, such as gold and silver in the form of sludge. Cathode copper meets the requirements of the London Metal Exchange, and in terms of brands, The main type that we produce is the M00K brand. 90% of copper that we produce is of the M00K brand and 10% is of the M1K brand.
От выпуска катодной меди мы все направляем на экспорт. То есть всю катодную медь мы экспортируем.
Actually, we export all the copper we produce. It's about 70,000 tons per year of cathode copper.
Планов по
That is, all our cathode copper is exported.
все зависит от того.
Currently, we're making plans considering our raw materials.
Мы в большей степени.
Basically, everything depends on the raw materials market.
То есть мы при планировании
In general, we are more focused on profitability.
максимальное извлечение дохода.
When planning our production tasks, we are focused on maximizing the income.
И приобрести и последующие, так скажем,
Based on these, we determine which type of raw materials is more profitable for us to purchase and process.
10 тысяч тонн в год по выпуску катодной меди.
Currently, our cathode copper output ranges between 50 and 70,000 tons per year.
И наши направления это Турция и Китай.
So we export the copper produced here to our main destinations such as Turkey and China.
В сравнении, допустим, с
Nearly 450 staff members are employed at the plant. For example, in comparison with the world-class plants, among which are Asian and European ones, who are global copper production leaders, we seem to meet the major European standards both in terms of technology and personnel.
европейским стандартам и в части технологий, и в части наличия персонала. То есть у нас
Thus, we have 450 people who ensure the smooth running of the processes whereby cathode copper is produced.
Ну и в перспективе хотел бы рассказать по
Talking about the future, we are more focused on the economic component.
степени ориентированы именно на экономическую составляющую.
Nowadays, there are certain difficulties in the raw materials market.
Сейчас по рынку сырья
High-quality raw materials with a high copper content and a minimum content of impurities are significantly expensive both in terms of costs and processing. But to a greater extent, these are expensive concentrates that has a certain economic effect on our profitability.
степени по стоимости это дорогие концентраты.
Therefore, we are focused on using complex concentrates.
Экономическую составляющую на нашу доходность.
They are firstly cheaper and their profitability is much higher since they have a low initial market value.
И доходность них.
With the aim to develop the copper plant, we have launched a project for the construction of a slag removal unit. This will allow us producing not only cathode copper but also zinc and lead. We are part of the Öskimen metallurgical complex, which houses lead and zinc plants as well. And we are planning to produce industrial products in the form of zinc oxide. In the future, after the implementation of the slag removal project at our copper plant, in addition to cathode copper, we will be able to produce zinc and lead additionally, which will also ensure stability for the next 20 to 30 years of the plant's operation.
В дальнейшем, после
That is, we do not stand still. Just because we are a copper plant, we should not have a limited scope of operations and produce only cathode copper.
дополнительно цинк и свинец, который также обеспечит нам стабильность.
Studying the market and advanced metallurgical technologies, we introduce the most progressive ideas at our plant, and thus we are one of the most stable metallurgical plants, not only in Kazakhstan, but all over the world. It can be boldly stated.
Только одну катодную медь. Изучая рынок, изучая передовые, так скажем, технологии металлургические, мы самые, так скажем, прогрессивные идеи внедряем у себя и таким образом являемся одним из самых стабильных металлургических производств не только в Казахстане, но и по всем мире. То есть это можно смело утверждать.
Kazakhstan's copper attracts foreign investors, experts say. The demand for it has grown noticeably, and many companies are ready to participate in tenders for the right to develop new deposits in our country. Such global giants as Canada and Australia have already expressed a desire to work in Kazakhstan. Meanwhile, the copper reserves in our country, according to preliminary estimates, total more than 37 million tons. In 2023, 5 billion tenge have been planned for exploration. Copper is the main electrical metal. Its consumption in the world will continue to grow at a rapid pace. Electronics, instrumentation, mechanical engineering and construction are increasing the demand. Decarbonization and energy conversion create an additional demand for copper since a lot of copper is used in electric motors. Experts have been observing fairly stable copper prices for a long time. Moreover, there has been a gradual increase since 2022. According to experts, the growing shortage of metal in the world has had an impact on prices. The reason is the reduction in production volumes of several large companies. Thus, for various reasons, the global giants from Chile, Brazil and Australia have reduced their copper production. Meanwhile, experts believe that by the beginning of the next decade, the demand for copper will increase by 16%. The ongoing decarbonization of the global economy also played a role in increasing of the demand for copper. For example, the law on reducing inflation, which was issued in 2022 in the United States, introduces tax benefits up to $7,500, encouraging consumers to purchase electric vehicles. Geological exploration in Kazakhstan is expected to experience a big boom. We see this due to the fact that a lot of big corporations are entering Kazakhstan. Copper is in particular demand because it is needed in large volumes. All the electronics we use, including phones, watches and cars, as well as construction of new districts, villages, roads and street lights, all this requires copper. Copper is the new gold. If one of these companies conducts its exploration program and discovers a deposit, we can expect the creation of a new major enterprise in the near future. As for Kazakhstan, according to experts, the increase in the cost of copper will also have a positive impact on the economy, given that our country is among the world's top 4 in terms of reserves of this metal. However, the demand coming from China, which has recently shifted its focus on the development of green technologies, the construction of metal-intensive renewable energy sources, and the introduction of electric vehicle infrastructure, is especially heating up the prices for this metal. And this means that China will require a lot of copper soon. Nevertheless, all this is not enough for the high-quality development of this industry yet. After all, more than 99% of the products made after processing of the Kazakh copper ore are exported. Thus, at present, the Kazakh copper industry is aimed at producing raw materials, whereas in developed countries, companies manufacture products with high added value. Simply put, instead of producing copper wire, we need to manufacture ready-made cables at a much higher price. Kazakhstan's economy still depends on minerals. That is, the country's economic structure is simple. In fact, we need a complex, diversified economic structure for rapid development. We certainly have the advantage competing globally at the raw materials market. We need to effectively use these advantages in order to fulfill current and strategic tasks. Therefore, it is necessary to boost the development of this industry. However, over the past decades, systemic problems have accumulated in the field of subsoil use. The full implementation of the mining industry's capacities is hindered by insufficient volumes of geological exploration. The rate of replenishment of the mineral resource base is also slowing down, and this is happening amid depletion of the developed subsoil. Fossil resources should be used efficiently and economically. To do this, we need to improve legislation and simplify procedures. It is especially important to attract investments in geological exploration and development of mines. The government and parliament should develop a specific action plan for this sector. Speaking about the future of the Republic's copper industry, experts predict a good future for it. The launch of new projects serves as confirmation of this. Thus, the construction of a new plant that produces cathode copper at the Birqara deposit has started in the Abay region. The design production capacity is 600,000 tons of ore, with a capacity of 5,000 tons of copper cathode per year with a content of at least 99%. The project's total investment is 12 billion tenge. When implemented, the project will create more than 250 new jobs and provide specialists with a permanent employment with a decent level of pay. Also, by 2026 in Kazakhstan, specifically in the Aktobe region, 3 large mineral deposits, including copper mining ones, are planned to be opened. Investments in the projects under consideration will amount to more than 195 billion tenge.